Hey friends, it's Lori. Welcome back to The Generous Poor, where we're saving smarter, spending intentionally, and pouring into a life we love. And here we are, the very first video of 2026. I always feel like this moment deserves a pause, not a rush, not a reset that feels frantic, just a deep breath and a decision about how we want to move forward. If you're coming into this year a little tired, financially, emotionally, energetically, you are in the right spot because I am right there with you, and we are human. So just be kind to yourself, be gentle. That's sort of my advice for today. But we're going to get into our January week number 1, budget with me and cash unstuffing. And what we're going to do is unstuff my credit card purchases from between Christmas and New Year's, you know, the time where you like forgot the days and you forgot, I mean, everything. Did you even take a shower? That's sort of what we did is we sort of, had later dinners. Nobody was really on a schedule. My older boys were home. My younger is still here. He doesn't go back until middle of January, back to college. And so we're just sort of eating the leftovers, and everything is just a little more slower and softer and peaceful. I mean, I don't know why we don't do this a little more often, but it is what it is. So, and then we're going to walk through my binders, confirm what we're budgeting, and do all the things that I have set my system up for, clean, calm, and realistic for our real life. So I can't believe how fast this holiday went. Andrew, our youngest, is still home, which feels awesome and quick at the same time. These are the moments that I'm holding on to. So if I talk a little slower today, it's because we're sort of jumping off of a slow period. But we did have an event right after Christmas. Real life showed up. Our septic system, we have an alarm for our septic system on our house, and the alarm went off, and we had somebody come out to assess it, our septic company. And if you've ever dealt with something like that, you know there's no waiting it out. So right off the bat was an emergency, on top of it being, not an optimal time, there was an emergency cost to that. The bill came to about $4,800 right around the holidays, and we had to tap into our emergency fund, which didn't cover all of it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was super discouraging. It felt heavy, and it made me really sad. But here's the shift that I've been sitting with, and I think this is really important. Over the last 3 to 4 years, we've had something big fail almost every year. We had to get a new AC unit a few years ago. Our boiler went out last year. And now this year, our septic. The septic didn't completely go out. We just needed a new control panel, a blower, and some sort of float. If you live, we are not hooked up to city sewer, and so we have our own septic system. And so, you just have to maintain it, I guess. And about 10 years ago, we got a new septic system, and things just, the price of home ownership. But each one of those events was a $10,000 to $12,000 hit. And at some point that stops being an emergency and starts being home ownership. So they're not surprises anymore. They're predictable over time. So going forward, I'm separating two things very intentionally: our emergency fund for true unexpected life events, and home maintenance, which I've kind of built up over time, but I was really putting $20 here, $40 there, $50 there, knowing that we had an emergency fund. But the real cost of owning a home should be having a home maintenance fund that's built, because when you own a home long enough, replacements are not emergencies, they're responsibilities. So that mind shift changes everything for me, because when something breaks and I plan for it, it's frustrating, but it's not destabilizing. And that's what I want my money to do in this season. And I want it to support me, not scare me. So here's the part I still want to name clearly is we had an emergency fund. I didn't panic. We didn't put everything on credit. We handled it even though it hurt, which is proof that the system works. But very intentionally, I am leaving this in 2025. I'm not dragging that frustration, the resentment, the shame into a brand new year. We are going to rebuild, refine, and I'm going to do it on purpose. And when we take money out now from our home maintenance fund, it doesn't feel as unsettling to my nervous system. So I am very clearly setting up a higher home maintenance fund and an emergency fund. So it'll take a little while for that emergency fund to build, because now I'm going to be working on my home maintenance fund. But for my own sort of peace of mind and the stress, it just feels like those categories need to be separated. But anyway, that was our after Christmas, before New Year's surprise. But it is what it is. So let's move on to our cash unstuffing. And these are credit card purchases from the strange in between, when time doesn't exist. So I am going to grab my binder. This is my budget binder. And this holiday, I decided I was going to keep my money, my variable money, in my overflow binder, because with different events that we were going to, I was switching wallets and doing different things. And so as I needed the money, I just pulled it out of these envelopes and put it into my wallet envelopes. And so I have wallet envelopes right here. So groceries, spending. And so I put that in my wallet. And that's when I was carrying a long wallet. And then when I carry I have little square, I don't know where I put those, but I have little square, wallet envelopes for my smaller wallets. So anyway, let's get into this. And I've also moved my markers into this. I felt like things were leaking and different things like that, and so I've decided I'm going to keep them in a pouch, lay them flat, and maybe prolong the life of these markers. So we'll hopefully that works out. I did have them in a stand, and so they were sitting up. We'll see how that works. But anyway, I digress. This might be a longer video just because I have a lot to talk about. And it is cold here on the East Coast. Super, super cold. So anyway, let's get into this. So let's get into my wallet categories. So we have spending. Well, dining out is going to get, so dining out is my out and about. And that is going to get 50. So we'll take that out. So dining out still has 20 left. And I'm deciding if I want to roll this money over, the out and about money, for bigger purchases, because when we're out and about and we have a bigger dining bill or we have something like that, I don't want to have just a little bit of money that I have to work with. So I just did a pen on myself. So Pearl we're gonna do 30. She's our Siberian Husky, and her food is food, grooming, treats. We budget $30 a week for her. And then we have spending, which is going to get, so the one thing that I spent on, which I didn't think I was going to be spending on, is I went to Lush. We have a Lush around here, it's like bath bombs and different things like that, and had 50% off all their Christmas stuff. And so I decided I wanted to get some of that stuff because it was expensive usually. So that is going to do it for this one. That's going to do it for my cash envelopes. And then now we're going to move into let's see if we have anything in this one. Nope. We're going to move into my high priority binder because my kids were home. We did some dinners out and we went someplace and I had a host gift. And so I need to pull out $10 and I think I only have 20. So let's see here. So seasonal activities. I'm going to pull out 100. And that is going to come from my high yield savings account. So seasonal activities is 100. And then, New Year's Eve, we decided last minute that we were going to host some friends at our house. And so New Year's Eve, we have 100. I budgeted 150 and we spent 150. We picked up food, little nibbles, grazing things. And so now New Year's Eve is done. And we can put that in there. So that is 150. And now I need $20. Let's see if I have change. I do. So let's see. So together is getting 20. So never mind. So that can all come out. All right, so Thanksgiving can go back in here. I thought it said 10. And actually it is. My brain is not braining today. So together is 20. And now that has minus 20. So now that has nothing left. I hope everyone had a beautiful New Year. I can't believe it's 2026 already. It's like, I feel like we were building up and building up and building up, and then now it's over. Okay, so now this is where we get into the real fun stuff. So our septic emergency was $4,635. And so what I did is I went through some categories and decided I was going to take it from what I had left over. So first, let's go into my wallet. Since we didn't spend anything on groceries and we were going to have $300 left over, I pulled it from that. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It wasn't the category that I wanted to pull from, but I didn't want to put this on my credit card. So 300 is coming groceries. Month ahead. Let's go in here first. So rainy day is going to get, I know it's not a lot, but every little bit helps. So 35 from rainy day. And I will update these trackers when I do my cash stuffing. Home maintenance, and I only had 175 in home maintenance, which is not enough because I was only putting 10, 10, 20, 20, so 175. So this is going to be beefed up in the new year, and I will, again, clean this tracker out after this video. So 175 from home maintenance, and then 150.75. And then Thanksgiving, we're kind of all over the place here. Thanksgiving, since Thanksgiving we had money left over, I'm actually just going to be pulling this out and zeroing out Thanksgiving. So we have 50, 60, 50, or no, I'm sorry, 20, 40, 60, 75. So that's 75 coming out of Thanksgiving. It was just extra that I had not used, and I was just going to roll it over for next year. And the emergency happened, so we're not going to do that. Seasonal activities, I think, is in the other binder that I just put away. Because, of course, it is. Okay, so seasonal activities, looks like we have 200. 1, 2. And I left 5, 6, 7, 8 left in here. So it just means we pull back from some things that we either planned on doing or something, but it's better than it going on my credit card. And I didn't have to clear out my binders completely to do this. But old me would have put it on a credit card and then just been paying it off for as long as it took. But new me just doesn't want to do that, especially since we have just turned the corner on our debt. So let's grab our, this is my, oops. So this is my, let's put this off to the side. This is my emergency fund and my 1 month ahead binder. And I moved, this was everything that we were collecting. So we had transportation, insurance and subscriptions. We had a buffer category, food and household, utilities, emergency. And emergency sits in the back here. So what I did is I cleared out these binders, and let me put on some quick sort. And emergency fund had $1,000, $2,000, $1, $2, and $3. So $2,300 in emergency. And what I did here is I went through, cleared off my tracker, took out, in fact, I'll show you. I took out $2,300, and so we have $95 left in emergency, which is a huge bummer, but at least it's not on a credit card. Let me put that off to the side. And then, because we didn't have enough to cover the entire bill, I went through my entire 1 month ahead binder, and I took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1,200, 13, 14, 20, 40, 60, 80, 15, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I took out $1,550 from my month ahead, which was everything. So we are starting from zero. These binders are empty, but we're going to rebuild those. And so I don't feel, it was discouraging. For a couple days, I was shell-shocked and upset. But it is what it is, and at least we could do it. I mean, that's, this is the system working. So let's count how much we have going back. And let me grab my calculator. So we have actually I'll go to the thousands. So we have 2,000. And then we have, let's put this in order. It's definitely not in order. Let's do this real quick. It's a lot of money. And the savings will go down, everything will go down. But I keep looking on the bright side, which is it didn't have to go on a credit card, and we covered it. And now we just intentionally move forward and, save, build it back up. We built it up already. And so we build it up again. So that's 2,000. And so this should be 46.35. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that's 2,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, so 220. And then we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85. So that's 4,905 is coming from our high yield savings account. And then we have 120 going back to the bank to pay our credit card. And this is cash. So let's total this. So we have 20 plus 100 plus. So 5,025 minus 4,905 minus 120. So that's 0. So that is exactly right. So this will go. Whew, I am looking forward to leaving this little event in the past. You guys ever have one of those things that just like kind of rock you? This rocked me because I've been buzzing along and doing what I needed to do. And then it was like a punch. So this goes back to the bank, $120, and $4,905 will go back, come out of our account to pay our septic. So I will put this off to the side right here. And then that'll do it. That's going to do it for that. And so now we will move on to January. And we will, I started filling this out, but I think that I'm going to grab a new sheet. We are going to move forward. You guys ever have that? Like a big, huge setback? You're just like kind of skipping along and then boom. Something crazy happens and you're like, well, that's unexpected and sucky. And it felt deflating. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, this feels deflating. But before we move any further, I want to zoom out for a minute. And as I start this new year, I want to make sure my systems still make sense because like I said, I'm going to be shifting a little bit of more money into my home maintenance. And so that's the beauty of your budget is, you see what other people are doing, or you want to, you feel like this is my new setup and I don't have any wiggle room. You have all the wiggle room you need. It's not about judging. It's not about sticking with something that doesn't serve you anymore. We had a bump in the road that highlighted to me that home maintenance needed to be increased because I don't want to feel that again. So it's about reconnecting with the plan, knowing what has a job, what doesn't, and what might evolve. It's always evolving. So one change that I'm making this year, and I'm really excited about, is how I name my weeks. Instead of saying January week number 2, February week number 3, I'm actually thinking that I'm going to be doing my cash stuffing in weeks 1 through 52. Some months have 4 weeks, some have 5, and this just keeps things cleaner for me, and easier to track. And we'll see how it works. We'll see how it works for me. So this is going to be, I'm still going to put the month, but I'm going to do January number 1, and February will be like February 7, February 8, March 13. And it's because I'm keeping track of the weeks in the year. So anyway, that's it. Let's get into our wallet. I feel like I haven't bought groceries in so long because we were working off leftovers and trying to clear the cabinet. So groceries is going to get $2.50, and again, this is for 1 week. Spending is going to get its usual $75. Home is going to get $50. And these are pretty much everything that I do. I did decrease the grocery category a little more after our septic incident, because I'm hoping that I'll be able to save a little bit more money. Sales, different things like that. We'll see. I don't know. Pearl, she's still going to get her 30. Seems like nothing that she does is on sale. Generosity, I'm still going to do 10. I don't want to work from a scarcity mindset either. And so I want to still live, and I want us to still live, because we still are putting away a lot in our savings. I just, this had me, it shook me. It shook me a little bit. So I just got to get back on the horse. If that makes any sense to you? I'm a little shook, but I'll get over it, I guess. Okay, so month ahead. And again, what I have done in my categories is I am going to be doing, I have 5 categories for my month ahead. And so I'm going to put $25 in every week to build that up. So that's going to get $125. Now my emergency fund is going to get, and this is every week. So I'm going to do 100. Again, that's me being scared. Rainy days, which we emptied, is going to get 10. And this is going to be where we shift, because I put in here a tracker, and each castle is going to be $25, and then you can tick these off. And so this is going to be $500. So every 2 is 1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this tracker will save us $5,000. And so this is my goal, is to save $5,000 in this tracker. And so 25, I'm going to put 100. Again, this is nervous me putting in 100. Yard and garden is going to get, has 45. I'm going to put 10. Health. That's the crazy part, is like these categories still need to be funded. And so I decided I was going to put $25 in every time I budget, because that's our copay. At least that's what I think it is. I haven't gotten anything from our health insurance that said it's going up or down or anything like that. House deposit, this is going to get 5. Travel, which I almost dipped into, has 408. I almost dipped into travel. It's going to get 25. We are going on a trip in May, a family trip. And so, life is still moving forward regardless. It doesn't care that my septic needed almost $5,000 worth of work. Wellness is going to get 10. Hobbies is going to get 5. And then giving is going to get 25. So let's count up what we have. And I'm hoping to start these up soon. I figured when the boys all go back, I'm going to be what I've saved for the month of January with subscriptions that I've canceled, different things that I stopped doing, like I'm doing my nails at home now. I'm going to put all that money in here and reallocate it. And then marketplace sales this is the year of reselling and going through things that just sit in our basement, because everything has a cash value to it. And so that is also savings. If it's sitting in your closet, excuse me, and you're not using it, send it on. That's what I say. Okay, boys, this is my boys category. 1, 2, and 3. We have 3 boys, and they're each going to get 10. Birthdays is going to get 25. Gifts is going to get 5. Birthdays, we have my son's birthdays coming up, and so I want to make sure that we are funded for that. So let me count this real quick. Wait, I messed up. Let me do this first. So I'm going to get to right here. 25 plus 10 plus 30. So 515 is going into my wallet, which is right there. Then we have okay, and then this is 500. Okay, and we are budgeting, I don't know if I said this, but we're budgeting $15.45 this week, plus whatever I roll in my 50 envelopes. That's sort of extra. Could be 1 to 50. Okay, so we have 515 plus 500 is 1015. So we have 530 left. Okay, we have plenty. So celebrate is going to get 5. Seasonal activities, we pretty much wiped out. It has about $8 left. And that's going to get, I'm going to do 10. Let's move this up. Together is done too. And that is going to get 10. And then this holiday, I'm going to move this over. So our next holiday now is Valentine's Day. So that will go there. I'll move this tracker out. And then I have my St. Patrick's Day, which goes, I decided instead of having a whole bunch of holiday categories that I'm funding one, and then the next category will be funded. And then whatever rolls over from this one will go to the next one, if that makes any sense. So, so holiday next and on deck is going to get 5 and 5. And then here's something that I did over break. Christmas is going to get 50. So we are restarting our Christmas, but I decided, since I'm not going to be working in my Christmas binder at least for a while, probably 6 months, I put this tracker in here to help me figure out what's in here. And what I'm doing is I want to save a little bit more for Christmas. So I made this binder. So I did this Merry and Bright on it, and I put this exact tracker. I just printed out another one in here. And so we have $20 in here. And once this gets filled, it'll be $1,000, and I want to save 5. I don't think we're going to spend 5. We spent about a little over 3 this Christmas with everything. Travel, sending gifts, Christmas food, all of it, all the boys, everything that I needed to do, donations. And so I decided this envelope, this is $5,000, everything in here. And so once this gets filled, we can either play games, or I can just decide this is how I want to do my Christmas. But I will have one Christmas, savings challenge in my binders now, in my savings challenge binders, and that will feed into this as well. So this is my new, and we're going to be doing $50. So $50 going into Christmas, if that makes sense again. Thanksgiving is going to get 5. So I decided my holidays is going to be next up and on deck, but Christmas and Thanksgiving, since those are kind of the big holidays, that I keep those going. Okay, so we have that. And we are going to do, so let's do this. So we have 25, 35, 40, 90. So we have 440, and my winter binder, which are my games, is going to get 150. Then my futures binder, my 2026 binder, is going to get 140. And then my travel, I decided $50 a week goes into travel. And then we have $200 left. So we will put, I believe we will put $50 into this. This feeds into my emergency fund. So this is the binder, this is my 10K, because I want to save $10,000 in it. And I put this tracker in the front. So each one of these is worth 200. And I put a tracker in the front here, and so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we'll do 50, and so that we can move, in our next cash stuffing, we can move this $200 into the back. And then we can mark off a $200, another 200 here. So once this gets filled, what's good about this is if you don't have $200, you can put $5 and keep it in that front envelope, because every little bit helps. So my 10K is going to get 50, and my 5K, which is our travel trip, we are going to put in, and again, I put another envelope up here. So we have 30, 40, 50. So we'll do another 50 in this one, and then eventually we'll be able to move these back. And this binder I got from Iris Budgets, and my 10K I made. I watched one of her videos, and boy, it's hard to do, but it was satisfying. So that is minus 50, and that brings us to 0. But this is the last one I do. And this is my 50 envelope challenge, and I made this. This is all of my envelopes, and I made these double-sided, so 1 goes here, 2 goes here, and I was struggling with the 50 envelope, just sort of I wanted something for my brains, something a little more gamey, and so I put this 50 envelope challenge in from Bethany Budgets, and each week I'm going to roll a 50-sided die, and that's how much I put into. Like my next envelope is envelope number 3. And so let's see what we're going to be saving. Whoops. If it ever stops. 21. So 21, I'm going to put that right here. 50 envelope is going to get $21. Whoops. So now we have budgeted 45 plus 21. So this budget is $15.66. And that is that for that. It's calm. The system works for me. I had to do a couple of tweaks, but you know, I wanted to normalize this idea that you don't have to do everything at the beginning. You're allowed to save first and decide later. Like some of these categories, you know, my rainy day, my, you know, home maintenance, different things like that. It's about planning. It's about making sure that you have, because this septic system really shook me and it didn't feel good. And so I want to make sure that when I have something like that, it wasn't an emergency. We didn't get in a car accident. We didn't have a tree fall on the side of our house. We didn't have anything like that. It was maintenance, and that's part of home ownership. And I don't want to feel like something breaking in our house. I don't want to feel that again. So that's why I tweaked a little bit. But anyway, I keep thinking about how fast the holidays went. 1 minute everyone's home, and then suddenly you're putting the decorations away, which we are going to be doing this weekend. I want to be intentional about how I start this year. I don't want to rush 2026. I want to inhabit it calmly, thoughtfully, with a system that supports my real life. So if your systems are shifting, if you felt like you had, you know, you were on this path of this is how it was going to be, and now you have to shift away, that's okay. Your categories aren't perfect. And your categories are evolving, ever evolving. Your life doesn't, tomorrow doesn't look like today. And so don't be hard on yourself if you have to make a few tweaks. You know, we're all in this together. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you here this year hanging out with me. Leave a comment below if there was something that you were thinking you were going to be doing and you had to shift, or is there something that's working for you and you know, you're plugging along and keeping it the same because that's what works for you. I would love to hear what everybody's doing. So until next time, keep saving smarter, spending intentionally, and pouring into the life you love. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.